transportation infrastructure, aviation, especially air transportation, I say it's not enough, but it's very adequate for the purpose. And the vision of Mr. President and his instruction is for us to continue to finish abandoned projects or projects that are started. This project in itself, the Port Harcourt, Lagos, Kano, and Abuja airports, with the fifth one, which is the Enugu being funded from federal appropriation, they came with a lot of problems. When I became minister, I certainly had no intention to continue that road because when I looked at the problems and the quantum of money required, some $400 or $500 million to finish it, I thought perhaps that is not the investment that I want to do. But in the wisdom of Mr. President, he said, no, we must be able to finish projects wherever they are. He's not playing to the gallery of politics saying that you are the one who started it. We took these projects from less than 30%, and today we've completed them. We'll be commissioning Abuja soon, so also Kano and Lagos and Enugu. The people or the traveling public that come and go out of Port Harcourt, just like any other passenger, is extremely important to us. But here is the heart of the economy. The activity in and around Port Harcourt is such that the high net worth people who are employers of labor come and go out of Port Harcourt. So we take it very seriously, and that's why we're commissioning Port Harcourt first. And you remember the narratives that Port Harcourt is the worst airport in the world. Well, now from worst to best. The local airport terminal in Port Harcourt, like I said, we had paid the contractor, and we are hoping that we should be able to deliver it as a Christmas gift to the people of Port Harcourt for this year. We would be running it for now until the time that we concession these airports. I've been very consistent on this concession of airports because I believe that these assets belong to the people. A social democrat, I so believe. And then also we'll get the private sector to develop them and continue to run them because they will run them better than what government would do. And of course, it has to be so. They will be very efficient in that way, and then they will be well maintained as well. And then we'll make our money, and then finally we'll continue to supervise their own assets and keep it as people's assets, as a trustee of the asset. So we will concession these airports and we'll make them work much better than they are today. And the sector is not fully developed, it's still a virgin. In the areas of cargo, for example, I haven't been seeing tomatoes, onions, and chili being flown from Sokoto or Kano to Port Harcourt and Lagos. Also, I haven't seen mails being flown all over the place. But the sector is growing. The quarter one, quarter two of 2017 as compared to quarter one, quarter two of 2018, we've seen some 13.5 growth in international passengers, and we've seen about 35.8 in domestic passenger growth. This is astronomical. These are numbers that cannot be beaten anywhere in the world. This is Nigeria, and this is transportation in Nigeria. But if you see the growth at 33%, for domestic and 13% for international, it goes to us saying that in the next couple of years, we will be hitting the 30 million mark. Port Harcourt Airport that we just opened now, from the worst airport to the best airport so far, so it's worst to first. I'm glad to say that it's going to be doing about 7 million passengers. So Nigeria in Africa is very imposing country. A huge personality within Committee of Nations, is a country that if you aren't in Nigeria, you aren't in Africa. I also say that this belt of Africa, West and Central Africa, if you consider it as the belt of Africa, then Nigeria certainly is the buckle that puts the African continent together and hold it.
You have a single runway in Abuja.
The Aviation Roundtable, an industry pressure group, has asked the airline operators of Nigeria to put up a bill and pursue the Fly Nigeria Act seriously. The art believes this will help free up the market for local airlines.
Are the Nigerian airlines making sufficient money to cover costs? The Fly Nigeria Act, AON should go and put up a bill. It's an indirect way to free business for you, to wrestle market share, because I put it to you that you are not making enough money to cover the numerous costs. And those costs will keep rising. Follow that bill and get it to become a law. Nanta has succeeded with something. They got a bill.
The first British Airways direct flight from London to King Shaka International, KwaZulu-Natal, took to the skies early this week. The new route is expected to boost business and leisure travel between the two cities. KZN MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Sile Sikalala, had said in May 2018 that at the time that he is hopeful the new route will strengthen the relationship between Durban, the UK and the rest of Europe. The second prototype of China's C919 large passenger plane has arrived in East China's Jiangxi province after the project entered a major phase of intensive flight test. It took off from the Dongying Shengli Airport in East China's Shandong province, where it landed in July after its first long-distance flight from the final assembly line in Shanghai. The number 102 C919 plane completed its first maiden flight in Shanghai in December 2017. The Thai billionaire owner of Leicester City and 4 others lost their lives in the first ever Leonardo Helicopters AW169 accident. Eyewitnesses reports say the helicopter struggled to gain altitude to clear the stadium and then spiraled down rapidly into an adjacent parking lot where it was consumed by a post-crash fire. Drones and sonar technology have been deployed in Indonesia to search for a Lion Air passenger plane which crashed into the sea early in the week. Flights JT610 went down after taking off from Jakarta with 189 passengers and crew on board. There has been no sign of survivors, but debris and personal belongings have been collected from the water. Officials say the pilot of the Boeing 737 had asked to return to the airport shortly before losing contact with air traffic control.